Now, this is the biggest international story at the moment, and we'll get you all the latest. Trouble mounts for UK Prime Minister Boris Jhonson. Now, 4 of his lawmakers have quit his government in the last 24 hours. Now, Laura Trott is the latest lawmaker to step down. Now, who are these 4 others? The first one was Will Quince, Minister for Children and Families. And as he quit, he said that he had no choice but to tender his resignation. The other one is Junior Transport Minister Laura Trott. Now, while quitting, she says that the move is over the loss of trust in the government. The third one being Health Secretary Sajid Javid and, of course, Finance Minister Rishi Sunak. Now, all of these have quit following a number of scandals that have hit Boris Johnson's leadership. Remember, Boris Johnson had very narrowly survived the confidence vote last month, and that gave him 12 months of immunity from another one. But what we're given to understand is that some lawmakers in the Conservative Party have been trying to change the party rules in order to shorten this immunity period. All right, Srinjoy joins us live for more on this. Srinjoy, the fact that 4 leaders, 4 ministers have quit the Boris government in such a short span, what does this mean for the future of Boris Johnson?
That's precisely the point. That is the main worry as far as Boris Johnson is concerned, because you have the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, quitting, you have Sajid Javid quitting, and now you have 4 more lawmakers quitting. Now, at this rate, where is it going to end? That is really the question, because if this hemorrhage continues, then the Conservatives could well find that they are short of a majority. That is one worry that will come up. The other thing that is even more worrying is what happens in the elections. The elections are not that far away. And if the elections are not that far away, we are finding that already in the by-elections, all those seats in the north and the central England that were old Labour seats and had gone to the Conservatives are going back to the Labour Party. And as far as those areas which were traditionally Conservative, in Sussex, in Kent, in Devonshire, and places like that, those seats are now going to the Liberals. The Conservatives are so upset with their own party that they are voting for the Liberals. So at this rate, there are fears, which is why people are leaving, that with Boris Johnson and all these scandals that are sort of erupting one after the other, the Conservatives will get wiped out. That is the worry.
Right. And Srinjoy, given that he has, 1 year's immunity, is it possible that Boris Johnson can be forced out?
Yes, that could well happen. If enough people leave the Conservative Party, they resign, then what happens is that straight off, he will lose his majority in the House. So that is, of course, not going to happen immediately. A lot more people have to resign. But here you are. You have the Chancellor of the Exchequer, who was number 2 in the cabinet, leaving. You have Sajid Javid, also a cabinet minister, leaving. You have MPs beginning to leave. Everyone knows that the party is hemorrhaging support. So there could be a revolt, number 1, within the party. The Conservatives could well say that, look here, we can't deal with Boris Johnson anymore. We will have to have someone else. One possibility up to that time was Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Right.
But unfortunately, there was that scandal regarding his wife's taxes and so on. Now there are rumors or there are whispers that this was done by people close to Boris Johnson. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. So now we have to see what happens. If the Conservatives are hemorrhaging support in the way that they are, it is difficult for them, very clearly.
Right. And Srinjoy, for the benefit of our viewers, if you can, briefly take us through what is the problem and what are the allegations that these ministers, who have quit are leveling with respect to Boris's leadership, the scandals that we have been talking about?
Well, to start with, you are having parties during the COVID epidemic, the pandemic. Now, that is bad enough. That's against the rules, and the world has got to know about it. Then you have a second Partygate when just after Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the husband of the Queen herself passed away. That was the second problem. The third, of course, was this issue with Rishi Sunak when his taxes became public, the fact that his wife was not paying adequate amount of taxes. So that was the third. Now you have a sex scandal, which is very, very unedifying, that has come up. That again is something Boris Johnson probably knew about earlier and did nothing about. So these are things that he has actually apologized for. Now, who wants a scandal-a-day government? That is really the problem. And as a result of this, as also for other reasons, inflation is rampant. That is a problem that is a seriously hurting people. There is high inflation. The economy is not doing that well. So all of these factors are adding up, which is why Boris Johnson is not very popular in England, especially in certain parts. He's not popular at all. And then this business of Brexit. Now, Brexit happened at that time very narrowly, but the pains of Brexit are now coming back to hurt the British population. They are now realizing, at least quite a lot of them, that Brexit was perhaps not such a good idea.
All right, Srinjoy there getting us all the latest on what's happening in the UK. Srinjoy, thank you so much for joining us.